throughout my accounting career, one of the things I've identified is the lack of education. In our market, with our people, I do think there's a lack of education everywhere, really, but especially with our people.
I can't even imagine how challenging or difficult it could be. One, English is not first language, right? Two, coming from service business or restaurants or arts and working with hands, going into finances and numbers, it can be very intimidating. What kept you going? Were you ever discouraged?
¿Fue lo que te mantuvo inspirada? O sea, ¿qué fue lo que te da fuerza para seguir adelante? ¿O alguna vez estuviste decepcionada?
Hi, my name is Denise Do, CIO of Ensuring Impact, and we're here to be beyond insurance. And I'm so excited to interview our top leaders. And the reason why we want to interview these top leaders is because they're really making a difference in their community. People from different backgrounds. We have veterans, we have immigrants, we have single moms, we have people who lost everything and gained it back. And it was all because of this platform. It was all because of this community, and all because we have a culture to cultivate the right values and the right things. And I can't wait for you to hear from them. Bienvenidos!
Gracias.
Did I say it right?
Sí,
Yeah.
bienvenidos.
I'm telling you, I'm like a hidden diva inside. I'm so in love with the Latin culture. And I'm really excited to have you here on today's episode to really highlight who you are and what you're doing for your community. So really quickly, can you tell our audience your name and your background, please?
Yes. So my name is Yesenia Silva, and my background comes from accounting mainly. And I've also done a lot of consulting work. I've done a lot of coaching work, in personal growth and development. And most of my life, I've been an accountant. And I've also gotten to work with a lot of different people dealing with a lot of different issues. And I think it's really shaped my life, learning from each of those experiences. And I really love to take that knowledge and to see how I can apply it, right, into every situation that I get faced with, especially with what we're dealing right now with all the changes.
So many changes. Yeah. And how do you guys know each other?
Okay. We've known each other for about 7 years now. We met through another mutual friend, and we immediately became all very, very close. And then it took a couple years where she started to deal with some breakdowns in her life, reached out for support, and that's when we became very, very close. And not only that, but I grew up as a single mom, being a single mom, and she was kind of getting out of a relationship. And so I really saw an opportunity to support her through that situation, just because I'd been through something similar. And so we kind of created this whole future together. It came out of nowhere because it wasn't expected.
Yeah. Like a village, we got to take care of each other, right? And it's a mutual benefit. That's amazing.
Yes. I had been offered the same opportunity when I was young. Somebody pulled me into the financial services really early on. I was a single mom, and that was the reason they gave me the opportunity. And I always looked for an opportunity to be able to return that to someone. So when that opportunity presented itself, it was like, oh, here's where I can make a difference. So we started thinking, and we came up with a plan to pull her out of the work she was doing, invite her to a whole new world, so that she could be home with her daughter, which was very important to her.
Is that the inspiration for both you guys? It's the children, and that inspires you to do what you do today? Not only just add value, I'm not even talking career and business, because I know that's where we're going to go, but it's way beyond business here. This is lifestyle. This is community.
Yes.
Amazing. So it sounded like you transformed, right? So Krissia, what were you doing before?
My name is Krissia Henriquez. I have 8 years in USA. So antes de esto estaba estudiando, tenía negocios, ¿verdad? En El Salvador.
Prior to this, I had businesses that I owned in El Salvador.
Luego me mudé para acá y comencé a trabajar como chef en una cocina.
Then I moved to the U.S. and started working as a chef at a restaurant.
Por 5 años, so me encanta la cocina.
I did that for 5 years because I do love to cook. I love the kitchen.
Ooh.
Después conocí a Yesenia y ella me invitó al mundo de las finanzas, los números y contabilidad.
Then I met Yesenia, and she invited me into the accounting world of numbers and finances.
Y el mundo de aseguranza, por supuesto.
And the world of insurance, of course.
ya, lo cual no entendía muy bien qué era o cómo funcionaba todo el sistema de aseguranzas porque nunca había estudiado nada de eso.
It was definitely a world I didn't understand because I had never been introduced to that or studied that.
Pero recuerdo que cuando estaba cocinando durante el restaurante, mi jefe me daba tiempo para estudiar y comencé a estudiar todo acerca de seguros.
But I remember that while I was still at the restaurant, my boss would often give me time to just kind of pull aside and study.
Wow.
And so I started to look into it and, learned a lot of things.
Yeah, entonces él me decía, tienes tu tiempo y yo sé dónde vas a llegar, te mereces lo mejor. Y eso me impulsó.
He started to encourage her to kind of follow through with her dreams. And so that really inspired her to move forward with it.
Yeah.
Amazing. I am so inspired.
Yeah,
may I ask you, because I can't even imagine how challenging or difficult it could be. One, English is not first language,
yes.
Right? Two, coming from service business or restaurants or arts and working with hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
Going to finances and numbers, it can be very intimidating, even for me being English speaking,
Mm-hmm.
right? What kept you going? Were you ever discouraged? And if so, how did you keep going?
¿Qué fue lo que te mantuvo inspirada? O sea, ¿qué fue lo que te da la fuerza para seguir adelante? ¿O alguna vez estuviste decepcionada?
Sí, estuve decepcionada muchas veces, pero lo que me inspiró siempre era mi hija. Es mi hija.
Mm.
Yes, it was hard. I was disappointed a lot of times, but what kept me going was my daughter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Porque especialmente vengo de una familia donde mantienen una cultura tal y cual la enseñaban antes y yo quise cambiar esa parte en mi vida y para mi hija.
Because I come from a culture where people just remain in the same, they don't evolve. And I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to show my daughter a different type of life.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow, I am speechless. Thank you so much for that. That brings up so many questions that I want to highlight so much. So your daughter lives here in the U.S. now?
Mm-hmm.
What part of the United States are you guys in?
We're in Seattle.
In Seattle.
Seattle,
Washington.
Seattle,
Yes.
Washington.
Okay. I'm in California, so it's not too far, the Pacific Northwest area. Was your daughter in El Salvador with you before too, or she's born here?
No, she's born here.
She's born here? Okay. And this can be a question for both of you, because I'm born and raised in San Jose, California. My parents were immigrants who escaped Vietnam from the Vietnam War and came here. And I'm sure there's similar backgrounds of being immigrants, right? Young mothers, right? We're young. How do you feel coming here to America and then your daughter is American because she was born here? What's that feeling like, and what kind of opportunities do you feel you're giving her? And here, am I asking? Yeah.
¿Cómo te sientes saber que tu hija nació en los Estados Unidos y las oportunidades que están presentes para ellas?
Bueno, especialmente me siento afortunada de que ella tenga un buen futuro estando o naciendo acá.
I feel very fortunate, especially because she was born here and for the opportunities that will be available just because she was born here.
Wow. Y especialmente porque sé que este país nos brinda muchas oportunidades las cuales debemos tomar para poder seguir adelante.
And because I know that this country provides a lot of opportunities and possibilities for us to start over, for us to have a better life.
Amazing. And you're doing it. I'm very inspired. And this is a question for both you guys, being mothers, right? Having daughters. How would you like to ensure impact beyond insurance to make sure that they have a better life?
Great. Well, I think what inspires me the most and why I loved this setup, this platform you guys have going on, is the opportunity to make a difference. Throughout my accounting career, one of the things I've identified is the lack of education. And I don't think it's only in our market, with our people. I do think there's a lack of education everywhere, really, but especially with our people, right? They just didn't grow up that way, didn't have those resources. They're just constantly repeating, things they were taught in their own culture, and they come here and they're not looking forward to change that because, again, they don't have the resources, the guidance. There's always something missing for them, right? And so I think for me, being given this amazing opportunity and this knowledge and the ability to relay it to others is how can I pass what I already have for me to someone else, right? I mean, as I did with Krissia, and showed her that she could have a better life. She didn't have to work 70 hours.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And
You
not
don't
be
have
with
to.
her daughter, right? That she could work smartly, right? She could work more efficiently, where she could be with her daughter and still make a difference. And so I think for both of us, one of the things that we have in common is that we love to educate people. We like to teach them not only something that they can do for themselves, but something that they can now incorporate into their everyday lives and teach to their own families, right? Where they're, like I mentioned before, where they get to impact generations to come, right? Their kids' or grandkids, and something that gets passed on. And another reason why I love this is because in accounting, I felt like I made a difference. You know, maybe when I did a tax return, when I did an analysis, right? When I did business consulting, but it was like a one-time thing, you know? And I like that. It was nice to teach someone something. And most of the time what would happen is they would just have you do it again, but they didn't really like incorporate it in their lives.
Yeah.
So I'm like, am I really making a difference? You know? So when I learned about this opportunity through Anna, I'm like, wow, this is something that will actually impact them forever. It will change. Yes. It will change the way they think, the way they do things, and they will be protected all along the way. That's really where I feel that's a privilege to be able to do that, to be able to give back, right?
Yeah.
Especially the way that we do it here, where we're about educating them. We're not about selling something to them. We're about teaching them, right? How they can have this knowledge and that how they can make their own choices.
You're absolutely doing that. I can see it, and you're passing it on.
Para mí me ha dado seguridad, ante todo, porque es algo que antes tal vez no tenía.
For me, this has brought a lot of security. ¿Qué puedes ofrecer?
Y puedo ofrecer ahora educar a muchas personas desde mi casa, a cambio pasar mucho tiempo también con mi hija.
And now I can actually make a difference right from home, teaching a lot of people, and at the same time being able to be with my daughter.
Amazing. That's powerful words. And I can't wait for your community or anyone who speaks this language to understand. It's such a beautiful language. You are beautiful people doing beautiful things. So really thank you for your time, Yesenia and Krissia.
Yeah.
You've impacted my life and many people's life. And I know this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
So thank you for everything that you guys do.
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Thank you por invitarnos y por siempre estar apoyándonos y atender todas nuestras llamadas.
Thank you for inviting us and for always supporting us and taking our calls. and if I could just highlight, one of the things I love about Krissia's story is that it kind of shows people that it's possible.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you just arrived from another country.
Yep.
You know, she didn't know English. She had never touched a computer. Never. So she learned how to use a computer, navigate through it, translate using Google, you know, and still deliver whatever she knew to the people because she wanted to make a difference right away, even if she didn't have everything down.
But you have all the resources. Yeah.
Recuerdo que todos los Zoom meetings que teníamos al principio, todo usaba el Google para traducir y tenía todos los apuntes y todo, pero no me quedé atrás.
Yeah, she remembers, she has flashbacks of taking all the Zooms and getting notes and using Google as a translator, but she was not going to let that stop her.
You're unstoppable. You're unstoppable, and you're absolutely inspiring a lot of people to do the same. So I want to thank you both for your time. Okay, and I can't wait for you. Sí se puede.
Sí se puede. Yes, thank you. It's really an honor.
Cut.
Okay.